Angel Reese is moving like someone who has absolutely no interest in playing small, on or off the court. While a lot of people still think of her as the college superstar who took LSU to the top and then jumped to the WNBA, what she's doing right now looks a lot more like the early stages of a serious business empire. And the wild part, she's doing it while technically making less than $75,000 a year from her actual WNBA contract. Let's start with one of the most recent moments that really showed where Angel is headed. She popped up courtside at an NBA game, there to support Orlando Magic big man Wendell Carter Jr. Now, most people in that situation just throw on something casual and enjoy the game. Not Angel Reese. She turned that appearance into a full fashion moment, showing up in a custom Y2K-inspired look by designer Sankara Exasha Toure. The outfit instantly grabbed attention online. Photos were everywhere. Fans were breaking down the look. Blogs picked it up, and it was clear she wasn't just at the NBA game. She was using it as a runway in a branding opportunity. That's the level she's thinking on. Every camera, every tunnel walk, every courtside shot is part of a bigger play. And now she's not just letting brands benefit from her visibility. She's starting to take real ownership. Because here's what people outside women's basketball often don't realize. Angel Reese's official WNBA salary with the Chicago Sky for 2025 is just $74,909. For a player that famous, that visible, that influential, that number sounds almost shocking, especially when you compare it to NBA money. But that paycheck is basically the smallest part of her world. On paper, it's her job, but in reality, it's just one line in a much bigger financial picture. Back in college, Angel was already operating at a level most pros don't see until deep into their careers. Thanks to NIL, her name, image, and likeness value reportedly peaked at around $1.8 million. That's not rumor, that's real business. Huge companies lined up to be associated with her. She signed major endorsement deals with Reebok, putting her front and center for a classic athletic brand trying to make a big comeback. She linked up with Reese's Puffs, which, beyond being a fun play on her last name, was a perfect match for her personality and young fan base. Those weren't just one-off campaigns. That kind of NIL portfolio showed brands that Angel could sell, that she could move product, that her influence was worth real investment. She brought in massive attention during March Madness, built a huge social media following, and leaned into her Bayou Barbie image in a way that blended basketball, style, and pop culture. By the time she entered the WNBA, she didn't just arrive as a rookie, she came in as a fully formed brand. Then there's the modeling. While a lot of players might stick strictly to sports endorsements, Angel went straight into the high-visibility fashion and beauty space. She walked the runway for Victoria's Secret. She appeared as a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Those are mainstream, global platforms that reach way beyond women's basketball fans. When you see a young WNBA star in campaigns like that, it sends a clear message. She's not just an athlete, she's a face, an image, a style icon in the making. And now she's taken the next logical step, not just promoting products, but owning a piece of them. According to a recent report from Business of Beauty on Instagram, Angel Reese has joined the list of investors in the skincare company Topicals. If you're not familiar with Topicals, it's one of the buzziest skincare brands to come out in the last few years. The company launched in 2020 and has already raised over $20 million in funding. The new round they just closed includes money from Angel and Nigerian music star Rema, along with other names from sports and entertainment. The exact size of Angel's investment hasn't been made public, but just the fact that she's on that list tells you what lane she's trying to be in. She isn't just cashing a check to hold up a product on Instagram. She's literally putting her own money into the company, which means if Topicals keeps growing, she shares in that upside. That's a very different position than a standard endorsement deal. What makes this even more interesting is that Angel wasn't just randomly brought in for this moment. She was already using Topicals long before her investment was revealed. In January 2025, she did a game day beauty routine video with Vogue, and in that video, she casually highlighted Topicals products as part of her regimen. At one point, she walked through how she uses their under-eye patches to keep herself looking refreshed, explaining where she places them and why she likes them. It didn't feel forced. It felt like someone genuinely genuinely showing what they do to get ready before hitting the court. So when you fast forward a few months and suddenly hear that she's now an investor in the exact same brand she organically promoted before, it all lines up. She clearly believed in the product first, then decided to get in on the business side. That's the kind of authenticity that fans pick up on. This isn't just some random skincare label getting slapped onto a deal. It's something that already fit with how she presents herself and her lifestyle. From Topical's perspective, bringing Angel in is a smart move too. Her reach isn't the typical beauty audience. She's pulling in sports fans, WNBA watchers, young women who love her fashion, college fans who followed her at LSU, and people interested in women's empowerment and representation in sports. Having her connected to the brand gives Topicals a connection to arenas, locker rooms, and pre-game beauty routines that most skincare companies don't have access to. For Angel, this is the kind of move that shows she's thinking long-term. She knows her playing career, no matter how successful, has a limited window. Skincare, fashion, lifestyle brands, those lanes can keep growing with her for decades if she plays her cards right. And look at how she uses the offseason. Some players go overseas to supplement their WNBA income. Some take on side jobs or lower-profile local appearances. Angel is using her off months as a full-on business season. She's in NBA arenas turning heads with custom designer outfits. She's shooting content that gets picked up by fashion magazines. She's aligning herself with global brands. And behind the scenes, she's cutting checks as an investor in a high-growth beauty company. This is exactly what modern WNBA branding looks like when it's done at a high level. She's merging athletic skill, cultural relevance, and business strategy in a way that feels very similar to what we've seen from stars in other sports. Think about how Serena Williams invested in tech and startups, or how LeBron James set up his media and business empire, or how Naomi Osaka stepped into skincare, media, and fashion. Angel is tapping into that same blueprint, but she's doing it much earlier in her career and in a league where the base salary doesn't come close to matching her fame. The fact that her WNBA paycheck is under $75,000, but her overall earning potential is in the multi-million range because of endorsements, modeling, and investments says a lot about where women's basketball is right now. The league itself is growing. Interest is rising, ratings are up, but players still have to be incredibly smart about what they do away from the court to really capitalize on their moment. Angel Reese is turning that challenge into an advantage. Of course, whenever an athlete leans heavily into fashion and business, there are always going to be people who ask, is she focused enough on basketball? You see that conversation every time a player gets a big endorsement or does a high-profile shoot. But if you've watched Angel over the years, you know she thrives under pressure and under the spotlight. She's used to carrying expectations. She turned her college success into a media machine and then turned that into real money.
And honestly, this is bigger than just one player. Angel is becoming a kind of blueprint for what a young WNBA star can be in this new era. She shows that you can dominate the paint, sell out arenas, and still walk a runway, sign a fashion deal, and buy into a skincare brand all at the same time. She's not choosing between being an athlete and being a businesswoman. She's actively deciding to be both. Her presence courtside in that custom Y2K look wasn't a random fashion moment. It was a symbol of where her career is heading. She's not waiting until she retires to be taken seriously in the business and fashion worlds. She's doing it right now, in her early years as a pro, while cameras are catching her warming up in braids, lashes, and full glam, then grabbing rebounds and diving on the floor minutes later. And make no mistake, brands are watching, investors are watching, other players are watching, young athletes in college are watching and taking notes. You can already see a shift across women's sports. Players are treating their names and images like assets from day one. Angel Reese is just one of the clearest examples of how powerful that approach can be when you have charisma, timing, and a real plan. Her investment in topicals also taps into something deeper. Skincare and beauty products aimed at people of color have historically been underrepresented in the mainstream market. Topicals has built its reputation by being intentional about who it serves and how it talks about skin concerns. Having a black woman athlete with a huge platform come in as an investor reinforces that connection. It's not just about profit, it's about representation and visibility in an industry that still has a long way to go. At the same time, Angel's involvement gives everyday fans a new way to connect with her. It's one thing to wear her jersey or buy shoes she endorses. It's another to literally incorporate something she uses into your daily routine. That's how athletes evolve from being just sports figures into full lifestyle influencers. So when you pull all of this together, the modest WNBA salary, the 7-figure NIL background, the Reebok partnership, the Reese's Puffs deal, the runway appearances, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit feature, and now the Topicals investment, you start to see a clear picture. Angel Reese isn't just reacting to opportunities that come her way, she's curating an image and a portfolio that touch almost every part of the modern culture: sports, fashion, beauty, and business. The off-season for her is not downtime, it's prime time. One week she's in an NBA game in a custom designer fit, effortlessly going viral. Another week she's being announced as part of a funding round for one of the hottest skincare brands out. Another day she's walking people through her glam routine with Vogue, subtly putting young viewers onto the product she actually believes in. Every move is connected. And as all of this plays out, she's quietly redefining what it means to be a WNBA star. She's showing that yes, game day performances matter, stats matter, wins matter, but so do investments, so do ownership stakes, so does positioning yourself as more than just a name on a box of cereal or a face in a commercial. Angel Reese is proving that off-court ventures can be just as impactful as what happens between the lines. In some ways, those ventures will last a lot longer. Skincare brands, fashion houses, and businesses can keep thriving long after her final professional game. The Topicals deal is just one chapter in what's shaping up to be a much bigger career beyond basketball. So now the question becomes, how far can she take this? If she's already investing, modeling, and headlining campaigns this early, what does Angel Reese's world look like 5, 10 years from now? Is she running her own company, launching her own line, sitting on multiple boards? With the way she's moving right now, none of that feels unrealistic. Let me know what you think. Is Angel Reese the new standard for what a modern WNBA star looks like? Do you like seeing players step into beauty, fashion, and investment spaces this early in their careers? And what do you think about her putting money into a brand like Topicals after already showing she was a real fan of the products? Drop your thoughts in the comments, tell me how you see her future playing out, and if you want more in-depth breakdowns of what's really going on around your favorite athletes, on the court and behind the scenes, make sure you're tuned in.